أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد المصطفى وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين. Listeners, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. This Friday, day or so, we want to talk about a very important topic and a concept where Islam is shed light on, and Islam try to take a position how a Muslim for comport itself in between. That's not the topic of al-wafa. Al-wafa, or when a loyalty, or way it mean to follow up your statement to the letter. If you promise, Almighty Allah, they talk to you in Surah Al-Isra'i. Bala Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, he say, وَأَوْفُوا بِالْأَهْدِ إِنَ الْأَهْدَ كَانَ الْمَسْئُولَ. In another verse, Surah, Almighty Allah start this by saying, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, una say believe. Afu bi ahdi iza ahadtum. He say una follow up with una promises, una comply with una promises, una remain with una promises. But al-wafa generally, according to the Mizan al-Hikmah, the translator for be loyalty. That means to remain loyal with whatever agreement you don't undertake, or whatever contract you don't sign, or whatever promise you don't make, or whatever oath you don't do, you don't take. Sometimes people that can ask, they say, what's the real meaning of loyalty? Sometimes people that can ask the real meaning of loyalty. Or they can ask, what's not really the importance of loyalty in relationship? So they can ask, what are the good example of a loyal somebody or loyalty? But loyalty first, in the first place, we try to look for different dictionary the definitions there. This al-wafa, where Quran they say wa'afu, that means say stand by, bil ahadi, by your promise where you don't make, your agreement where you don't make, or your oath of promise where you don't make, or like the oath of office, manifestos from presidential candidates. These are all under the category of the ahad. So Almighty Allah say, wa'awfu bil ahdi. Inna ahda kana mas'ula. They must be aware of the fact for saying, then therefore question you on that day about the various promises in the society, the societal agreement, then the passional, the interpersonal or group agreement they will not take. Today you go see plenty people and get them parable the way they say, word na not to load na hate. This implies say we deal with the talk na just word. Until then now we hate with the work out like a load. So for comply with them, for stand by to the letter, so not to do necessary. This then it try for imply. But in haram, wrong. Islam condemn. And Islam say, if you are a believer, you must stand by your promise where you don't make one. The Oxford Learners Dictionary or Languages Dictionary, it try for define loyalty is saying a strong feeling of support or allegiance. A strong feeling of support or allegiance. Today, you see say, as we dey in the political system, how it dey play, you dey see a lot of people that are going to alliances. They dey form allegiance there among themselves. Really, some people that get the sense na a game, na a political game. Some man can go promise a woman say, I will marry you. It is sense na just young man, boys game or girls game. No, towards Almighty Allah no want for let you traumatize any individual or group of individual. So once you don't go into an agreement of sincerity, you must remain sincere and faithful to this agreement. So therefore, they could consider such a person to be a loyal person. And this is what we try to call the Muslim Ummah, to be specific, and the larger world in general. For say, it is of man for let you stay by your word, for let you stand by your word to the letter, and the one day na a vice for let you can dey whatever thing you dey talk, na just breeze in the past. So Islam said they get for hold you accountable for. So in the best interest of you, yourself, it always call for let you not just talk vaguely, but each time you talk, let you stand by them. Islam they call upon you for let you not just go into agreement vaguely. Let you be mindful for say whatever agreement you go into, you will be cautioned on the day of judgment. This consciousness, now Islam want for instill into believers. Now make Almighty Allah start in statements by addressing we as Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. You know, this issue of Iman or this Islam, who they say, with the claim say we belong to Quran, according to the Quran and the Holy Prophet, your declaration for say, yeah, you believe, because based on the evidences and the proofs that when you get a natural one day, you believe say La ilaha illallah, there is no God except Allah, wa Muhammadun Rasulullah, and Muhammad is a messenger of that Allah. These are just not tips from the iceberg. Then they expect you say now, you got to build yourself on the line of Islam, layer by layer or block by block. As you see the Quran says, it can stage by stage, it will build up the Islam where Almighty Allah one that we live, we life with. It will be like inside the Quran stage by stage. So they also expect you, the Muslim, for that you develop the concept of your Islam and the ideologies of your Islam block by block. For example, plenty man they pray, plenty man get good habit, but plenty man not aware of the fact for say words that are spoken are be questionable, shall be questionable on that day, or accountable. They will take account of them on that day. So as a result of that, some man can talk, they take and say na just political game. Some man can talk, just they take and say na boys game. But if na boys game, you and Allah not get that agreement. So never take your word say na just a form, whatever single agreement where you they make, or whatever single promise where you they make, you will be cautioned. So as I begin, as what they go on, with the alliances of people that they make, with the manifestos they were political and presidential candidate in the read, they must know so that they promise and die. Yes, somebody go say no judge me early. Correct. But what is important here, early or lately, within the Islamic Lectures, they call towards you towards that you must fulfill whatever promise you make, that you must remain committed. Committed. I think the word committed here we will pay attention to. You promise to do something and you really mean it down there in your heart, and you remain committed and steadfast and loyal to Quran, as the topic is loyalty in relationship, to partners, to colleagues, to group of friends, in a business undertakings, in the job where you don't sign for the office. You dey see say plenty dey flouter at this. Some man dey take job, swear in, the moment you go inside 1 month, 2 months, he forget say, like how the Islamic concept say, Ra'isu qawm khadimuhum, that leader of the community is in a real sense a servant for that community. That somebody will take job for discharge particular duty to the society, is in the real sense servant of the people in that connection. If you forget that he sees himself now as boss, stipulated time supposed to be 9 o'clock in office or 8:30, he does not go there on time. Then even if you go there on time, people then they wait for others to go to the early. If they do passionate thing at the office, a haram, you will do so. And whatever single time you waste by the public, they go ask you for it, you go take a kafara. Because you go agree with me, say not to that they pay you for. Except natural thing. Maybe you go to office, you feel for use the gent. This is natural. You go there and you consume the time where they did as best as the time where you need for do that work inside and not to follow you go there, you read the newspaper. And when you come out, see the people there. Not to that you party we don't go for go see you in the office because you not going to go to the house, you want to go see you in the office. Now they tell you servant first for let you call, let you attend to run. The public still let they wait for you. Let must not say you belong promise. And that promise they therefore take account of it. So the prophet they talk by hadith. He said, "Man kana yu'minu billahi wal yawmil akhir, falyawfu bil idha ahada." So let it complete in promise. If you make promise, Imam Ali they tell we. He said, "We don't want to say God they ask we for let we keep with trust." He said, "What the best of trust when you remain sincere and loyal to the trust. Afdalul aman al-wafa bil ahad." The best of amana na al-wafa bil ahad. We stand strong by your promise. So therefore, if you are a good believer and you want to practice correct Islam, the Islam of Prophet Muhammad, you must remain somebody committed to your agreement, to your promise. That office where you take by an oath of parliament, you must remain dedicated to the people there. Not all the time you did not patrol because chance to come, you don't get one strong motor car, you go upline now, you got in the upline, and then they visit. When people then go, they know they see you. Mr. Minister not there, Mr. Councillor not there, this not there, that they not there. Let us think of a conscience. So this in the nutshell, they ask you for love with people of conscience. Stay by your words to the letter. Fear the Almighty Allah, not to the individual. Make sure that your conscience is clear, that you are doing the correct thing, where you be take up office for. This was done to this little assignment there, where they give you as a teacher. Then they pay you for teach. If in a classes they teach, they pay you for them. When you go to the class, not leave the teachings and go for other things. Make sure that you utilize the time the best way until you conscious clear say No, I not eat for nothing money. No, I not eat haram money. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. We will stop here with this concept of Islam.